Yeah, good morning, one and all. Today we are going to start a new unit, that is Unit 5. It is waiting line. But before starting this unit, let me tell you, we have not completed that Unit 4 entirely, like I have discussed in the last class. In Unit 4, we have two parts. One is theory of game, one is inventory. Okay, we have completed this theory of game part. This thing we have completed. Okay, so two question you will get from Unit 4. I mean, two 10 marks question you will get from Unit 4. One question will be from theory of games, and one question will be from inventory. Okay, so out of these two question, any one question you have to answer. Okay, so as compared to theory, as compared to inventory, this theory of game, it was an easy part. Okay, very less formulas are there to remember over here. So that's why I have completed this theory of games, so that easily you can attend the problems. Okay, now the thing is, instead of starting this inventory part, we are going to start the Unit 5, that is the first part, waiting lines. And there is no connection between Unit 4 and Unit 5. Okay, if you are thinking without completing Unit 4, how can we start Unit 5? Then believe me, there is no connection between Unit 4 and Unit 5. Okay, some separate formulas are there for Unit 4. Some separate formulas are there for Unit 5. There is absolutely no connection between Unit 4 and Unit 5. In fact, there is no connection between each unit. Either it is Unit 1 or Unit 2 or Unit 3, like that. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we will start the waiting lines, Unit 5. And you can see in Unit 5 also there are two parts. I mean, there are two topics. One is waiting line. Okay, probably we'll call it as queuing theory. In some books, the topic name is waiting line. In some books, the topic name is queuing theory. Both are same. And the second topic is dynamic programming. Okay, so one question you will get from waiting line, one question you will get from dynamic programming. Okay, so out of these two questions, any one you have to answer. Okay, so today, I mean, in the coming 2-3 classes, we are going to complete this topic, waiting lines. Okay, very simple, only 5 to 6 small formulas are there. Okay, very small formulas are there, 5 to 6, one line formula. If you can remember those formulas, just put the formula and get the answer. Like that question you will get. Okay, so today we are going to start with waiting line. Okay, now what do you mean by waiting line? So waiting line means, suppose you are going to a movie counter. Okay. Suppose you are going to a movie counter. Okay, so what you have to do? The first thing is, you have to purchase the ticket. You have to get the ticket. So what is there? So in the movie counter, one counter will be there like this. Okay, so in this, inside the counter, 1 or 2 persons will be there. So what you have to do, whenever you will go to the movie counter, okay, to purchase the ticket, you have to stand in front of the counter. Okay, suppose many people, some 5-6 people will be there. They will come to the movie counter and they will stand in front of the counter. Okay, then one by one, this person will give the ticket. Okay, so whatever the people are standing here, they will form a queue. This line is nothing but, this is called a queue. Okay, and for this person, it will require some time to reach over here, because he will issue ticket to this person, he will take the money, he will go, after that this person will come. So in this manner, for this person, okay, there will be some, he has to wait for some time. Okay, so in this manner, they will form a queue, and to get the service, they have to wait for some time. Okay, so all these things, if we will put together, then we will be having a waiting line. Okay, so what do you mean by waiting line? Very simple definition I have written. The number of customer waiting in a line for some service to be performed. Once again, what do you mean by waiting line? Okay, so the number of customer, okay, waiting in a line for some service to be performed. Okay, so some people will come, they have to stand in a queue, or they have to stand in a line to get some service. Then that line is called as waiting line. This waiting line is also called as queue. Okay, suppose in our college also, when you have to pay the exam fee, or when you have to pay the tuition fee, or when you have to pay the college fees, what you are doing? You are going to that academic. Okay, there one cashier is there. You have to wait outside. You have to make a queue. Okay, then one by one you will pay the money. You will get the slip. Okay, so that line, whatever the line you have to form, that line is nothing but waiting line. Okay, so the number of customers waiting in a line for some service to be performed is nothing but is called waiting line or queue. Okay, so 2 marks question you will get. What do you mean by queue? Because this time I believe there will be some 2 marks question, or there will be some 3 marks question, right? So that is the meaning of waiting line. So next thing is we are going to have some example. For example, suppose I will give 3 conditions. One is situation. Okay, so in that situation, who is the customer and who is providing the service? So one thing you have to keep it in your mind, whatever the customer I have mentioned here, this customer may be a living thing, it may be a non-living thing. Okay, so for example, suppose you are going to a petrol pump. Okay, suppose you are going to a petrol pump. So in that petrol pump, who is the customer? The vehicle will be the customer. Okay, because those vehicles will be stand back to back. Those vehicles will be in a queue. Roll number 324. Can you hear me? Roll number 324. Vinod sir, once you mark roll number 324, don't give him attendance. Even if you switch off your video, you are not going to get the attendance. Roll number 324, once I will call you. So the example is, suppose the case of petrol pump. So in between, I will call some roll number and he has to respond. Okay, because we don't know, all of you are switching off your video. We don't know whether you are listening or just you are logging and just you are throwing your mobile and you are doing your own things. Okay, so to cross verify this thing arbitrarily in between the classes, I will ask some roll number to respond. If they will not respond, we will put absent for them for the entire class, for the entire day. So be careful, 324. Okay, so some example I will provide. The first example is petrol pump. Suppose you are going to a petrol pump. Okay, so what is there in the petrol pump? You can see vehicles will be there. Vehicles means some scooter, some tempo, some bus, etc. will be there back to back in a queue. So those vehicles is nothing but the customer. You put a message 332. Those who are having doubts, you put a message, because today I do not have earphone. I am not able to hear you. Okay, so whatever your query, you just put a message. So this vehicle will be the customer, and who will provide the service? The pump. The pump will provide the petrol or diesel. Okay. Similarly, one more example is job interview. Suppose whenever you are going for the job interview, okay, so in that time what happen? Candidates will come, okay, they have to sit or they have to stand in the queue. So in that case, the customer will be candidate. And who will be the server? Who will provide the service? The interviewer. Who will take your interview? Okay, he will be the server. So what I want to justify here is, in a system, I will give you a system or I will give you a situation. In that situation, who is the customer, who is the service provider? So you can see in petrol pump, the customers are vehicle. In job interview, the customers are candidate. So that's why I told you this customer may be living thing or non-living thing. Okay, so vehicle is a non-living thing. Candidates are living thing. Yeah, so that's what I want to justify over here. Similarly, post office. Whenever you will go to post office, okay, so letters will be there. So those letters we can treat them as a customer. And what we have to do with the letter? What is the service required by the letter? We have to sort them or we have to arrange them according to their pin code. Okay, that is the server. So what kind of problem you will get? What kind of question you will get? Define or what do you mean by waiting line? Give some example. Okay, so you have to write all this. At least one example you have to write. Clear? This is a 2 marks question. Next thing is we will see some basic terminology associated with queuing theory. Basic terminology means what are the terms associated with queuing theory. Okay, so the first term is, I told you, customer. Okay, so what do you mean by customer? Customers are the arriving units that require some service to be performed. Okay, this customer may be a living thing or it may be a non-living thing. Okay, so basically these are the arriving units that require some service to be performed. The customer needs some service to be performed. Very simple language I have written. I hope you got it. Okay. Now, what is the service? What do you mean by service? So service system means it provides the required facility to the customer. Whenever a customer will come, whatever the facility he require, that facility will be provided by the service system. Suppose this customer is moving to to watch a movie, to a movie counter. Then that movie counter is nothing but the service system. What he will provide? He will provide the movie ticket. Suppose this customer is going to the petrol pump. What service he requires? He needs petrol or diesel. So those services will be provided by the petrol pump. Okay, so that is nothing but your service system. It provides the required facility to the customer. Very simple. Okay, now the service system is 2 types. One is single server, one is multiple server. Okay, single server means in that service system, only a single server will be there. Only one server will be there. And over here, more than one server will be there. Okay, if more than one server will be there, then they can be arranged in parallel or they can be arranged in series. Okay, so I will show you one diagram or one example of single server system and multi-server system. Okay, so for example, if you can see this line diagram. Okay, so this is a single server system. Okay, so where is the server? This is the service system. How many server is there? Only one service system is there. So this is single server. Okay, so what happened? Arriving customer means customer will arrive, customer will come and they will make a queue. These are the customer, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the customer. Okay, so customer will come and they will form a queue. They will stand back to back. Okay, and then one after one, they will get the service. And after getting the service, the customer will leave. So this is an example of single server. Okay, so only one server will be there and many number of customers are there. Okay, this single server will provide service to all the customers. Okay, so this is an example of single server system. For example, your movie ticket. Okay, so there only one customer will be there inside that movie booking hall. So people will come, they will stand in a line, one by one, they will get the movie ticket and they will leave. That is the example of single server. Okay, single server system. One more type of server system is multiple server system. Okay, multiple server system means there will be more than one server in the queuing system. Okay, if more than one server will be there, then they can be either they can be arranged in parallel or they can be arranged in series. For example, if you can see this line diagram, so multiple server with parallel arrangement. So here you can see how many servers are there. 1, 2, 3. More than one server is there. That's why it is multiple server. And how they have arranged? They have arranged in parallel. Okay, parallel means so arriving customer means customer will come, then they will form a queue. Okay, after that either they can go to this service system or they can go to this service system or they can go to this service system. Okay, after getting the services, the customer will leave the counter. For example, suppose you are going to a bank to deposit some money. Okay, so what happened in bank? You can see there will be number of cashier will be there. Some 3-4 cashier will be there. Okay, so it is your wish to which cashier you want to approach. Okay, so that is an example of this multiple server system arranged in parallel. Number of system will be there. People will come, they will stand in a queue. Then according to their wish, they can take the service from any server. And at the end, they will leave the counter. So this is an example of multiple server system arranged in parallel. And this is multiple server arranged in parallel. Next one is multiple server arranged in series. Okay. So if you will see this line diagram, multiple server arranged in series. So here also how many servers are there? This is one server and this is one server. So more than one servers are there. So that is why it is multiple server. Why series? Because after the completion of service by this system, the people will go to this system. Okay, so here the server are independent server, means people can go to any system and they can take the service and they can exit. But here these are dependent system. First you have to complete your task over here. After that you have to come to the second server. So that's why these are series connected. So here also people will come, people will arrive, they will form a queue, they will take the service from the first service system. After that again they have to come to the second service system where again they have to form a queue, they will get the service. After that they will leave the counter. Okay, so this is a multiple server system arranged in series. In exam, if it will come, you have to draw this line diagram. Clear? Right. But it is not that much important. For your understanding only, I am telling all these things. What is the important thing, I will tell you. Then the next nomenclature is, or the next terminology is queue structure. Okay, queue structure means this refers to the order in which the member of the queue are selected for service. What I told you, if people will come, people will arrive or customer will arrive, then before getting the system, they have to form a queue. Okay, so from this queue, in which order they will get the service? Either the first person will get the service, or the last person will get the service, or in between any person will get the service first. Okay, those things will identify by this queue structure. Once again I repeat, suppose one server is there, people will come, they will form a queue. Then out of these 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of these 5 people, who will get the service first? So there are 3 probability. Either the first people will get the service first, or the last people will get the service first, or randomly any people can get the service arbitrarily. So like that, some 3 probabilities there that will be identified by queue structure. Okay, so this refers to the order in which the member of the queue, these are the member of the queue. The member of the queue are selected for the service. Okay, the order in which the members of the queue are selected for the service. So based upon that, 3 types of queue structure we have. One is FCFS. What is the full form? First come, first serve. First come, first serve. Okay, so out of these 5 people, these people suppose came first. Okay, so if we will follow this queue structure, then first we will provide service to this person. After that, we will provide service to the second person, then to the third person, then fourth, then fifth person. Like this, we will provide the service if we will follow this queue structure. Second type of queue structure is LCFS. What is the full form? Last come, first served. Means whoever will come last, service will provide him to the first. Means here also, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of this 5 customer, who is the last one? This is the last one. This is the last customer. But he will get the service at the first. After that, this person will get the service. After that, this person. Next, this person. And at the end, the first person will get the service. So if we will follow this queue structure, then it will be last come, first serve queue structure. Whoever will come last, he will get the service first. This is second type. Third type is service in random order. SIRO. Service in random order. Means randomly any of them can get the service. Either the second, third person or the fourth person or the second person. Randomly anybody will get the service first. Okay, so that is service in random order. Okay, so these are 3 types of queue structure. Okay, so these are some common terminology we have used in queuing theory. Very simple, in very simple language, I have tried to write all these things. This note I will post in the group. Once just read it out, you will get what I have written. Right? Now, after this, the next thing is, once I will show you the syllabus. So in waiting line, first thing is introduction. Okay. Second thing is terminology. Okay. 2 things is there. Single channel. Okay. Single channel means single server. I have told you regarding this thing, na? Single server. The single server is also called as single channel. Same thing. One server will be there. Okay. And he will provide the service to all the customers. This is single server or single channel. So single channel, Poisson arrivals and exponential exponential service time with infinite population. So all these things, starting from here to here, what is written? Single channel means single server, only one server will be there. Poisson arrival. Okay, means whatever the people will arrive, whatever the customer will be arrive, that will be according to Poisson distribution. What do you mean by Poisson distribution? I will tell you later. Okay, and what kind of service it is? The service will be exponential. Whatever the service will provide to the customer, those things will be exponential with infinite population. Infinite population means the number of customers, there will be no restriction of the number of customer in the queue. means there will be one, there may be one customer, or there may be two customers, there may be 100 customers, there may be 1,000 customers, like that. So there is no restriction in the number of customer in the queue. That is nothing but your infinite population. So for all this thing, for this entire thing, we have a model. We have prepared a model. Okay. So what is that model? That I am going to discuss now. Okay. So this is the model. Single channel unrestricted queue with infinite population. Okay. So this model is known as MM1 model. So in exam, you will get a question, explain MM1 model. Okay. This MM1 model is also called as Kendall's notation. This MM1 model, this notation is also called as Kendall's notation. Only this is only theoretical part. Okay. So don't get tension. I will tell you from which part you are going to get the problem. You are not going to get any problem from here. Only theoretical question you will get. Okay. I will tell you which formula you have to remember for the problem. Okay. So whatever I am discussing now, those all things are some theory parts. Quickly we will complete it. So what I told you, for this entire thing, we have a single model. Okay. And what is that model? That model is MM1 model. Okay. And this MM1 model is represented, is also called as Kendall's notation. So some question you will get, some 3 marks question or 5 marks question also you will get. Explain MM1 model or explain Kendall's notation. Clear? Okay. So this, how this model is written, this model can be written in this manner. Don't forget about this ABCD. Forget about this ABCD. So this model can be written in this model, in this system. MM1 FCFS infinite. Okay. So what do you mean by FCFS? Okay. So just now I told you FCFS. FCFS means first come, first serve. First come, first serve. Means whoever will come first, whoever the customer will come first, service will be provided him at first. That is FCFS. Clear? So it is FCFS means the service system is, or the queue structure is first come, first serve. Okay. And what is this infinite and what is this M? For all those things, I have given some notation. So this first one is represented as A. This is represented as B. This is C. This is D. This is E. This is F. Okay. And what is this A, B, C, D, E, F? I have written over here. So this M stands for Markovian arrival. Markovian is the name of a mathematician. Okay. So M stands for Markovian arrival. Okay. What do you mean by Markovian? In the Markovian means Poisson arrival. Some Poisson distribution is there. Okay. So based upon that, the arrival of the customer will be Markovian or Poisson. Clear? Right. So what is this A? A means arrival distribution or Poisson distribution. Means the customer, whenever the customer will arrive, they will arrive in a Poisson manner, Poisson distribution manner. Okay. Similarly, the next part, that is B part, departure distribution. This B part is also called as departure distribution. Means, as you can see here, the customer will arrive. After getting the service, the customer will leave. So the arrival will be in a Poisson distribution manner, and this departure or the leaving is also in terms of Poisson distribution manner. So both arriving and departure is Poisson distribution. That Poisson distribution is also called as Markovian distribution. Okay, that's why this is the for the arrival. Markovian I have written. This is for the departure. So here also Markovian I have written. Okay, so A, B gone. Then C. What do you mean by C? C is number of service channel in the system or number of server in the system. So this means only one server in the system, single server. For example, this one. Single server system, only one server will be there. Clear? Right. Then what is D? Already I have told you D is nothing but your queue structure. D means FCFS. First come, first serve. That is the queue structure. And what is E? Some infinite is there. So E means maximum number of customer in the system. I told you infinite customer means there is no limit of how many customers will be there in the system. There may be 2 customers, there may be 10 customers, there may be 1,000 customers, there may be 50,000 customers. So there is no limitation on how many customers will be there in the system. That's why I have written infinite. Infinite indicates maximum number of customers in the system or infinite number of customers in the system. And the last one is also infinite, means that is the size of the source. Means if the customer will be infinite, then that queue size will be also infinite. That will be represented by size of the source. Clear? So these are some notation you have to remember. So in 2018, one question they have put, explain MM1 model, 5 marks. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to write the model. Okay, then you have to put a nomenclature like this. Then you have to write what do you mean by A, B, C, D, E, F. These formulas, these nomenclatures you have to write. After that, based upon this model, there are some formula we are going to discuss. Based upon this MM1 model, we have some formula that we are going to discuss now. From here, your important part will start. Whatever the problem you are going to solve, those problems will based upon the formula. Now I am going to explain. Okay, so pay attention over here. I will quickly tell you the formula. Very simple formula is there. You just have to remember those 5-6 formula. Clear? You will get the question, write the given data, put the answer, put the formula, you will get the answer like that. Okay. So once again, I will repeat you. From here, we are going to get the problem. Long questions. Okay. So formula starts from here. The heading is relationships used in MM1 model. Okay. This is nothing but your MM1 model, what we have explained, discussed just now. Okay. Some formulas are there based upon this MM1 model. Okay. So what are the formulas? Okay. So first one is, this is called lambda. Okay. So what is this one? This is nothing but your mean arrival rate. Okay. Mean arrival rate means, I told you customers are coming, customers will arrive. After getting the service, customer will leave. So per hour, rate, what do you mean by rate? Rate means per unit time. Okay. So per hour, how many customers are coming? That is nothing but your mean arrival rate. I will write here in bracket, it will be per hour always. Means in 1 hour, how many customers are coming? Okay. So that will be indicated by mean arrival rate. That will be indicated by lambda. Next one will be mu. I will write the nomenclature also. This symbol is called mu. Okay. What do you mean by mu? Mean service rate per hour. Mean service rate means customers will come. Okay. They will form a queue. After that, one by one, they will get a service. So in 1 hour, how many customers are getting service? That will be indicated by mean service rate. Okay. So two things you have to remember. Whenever the questions will be there, you just read the question. From that question, you identify what is lambda. You identify what is mu. Okay, that is the first two things. Lambda means mean arrival rate and mu means mean service rate. You remember the time, it will be per hour. Okay. When we will do the problem, you will get to know about it. Now the first formula is utilization factor, traffic intensity or BG period. All the names are same. What do you mean by this utilization factor or traffic intensity? The meaning is probability that the service is BG. Means whenever you will reach the queue, you will see that already some people are there and already some service is going on. That is nothing but your BG service. Okay. So probability that the service is BG, it will be represented by rho. This is rho. Oh, and the formula of rho is lambda by mu. What is lambda? Lambda is mean arrival rate. What is mu? Mu is the mean service rate. If we take the ratio of these two, we will get rho. This symbol is called rho. There is the density symbol. Okay, rho. That is lambda by mu. Lambda is mean arrival rate. Mu is mean service rate. Okay, and this rho value is always less than 1. Clear? So this is one formula. Next formula is, second formula is probability that the service is ideal. Ideal means no service is provided. Ideal means no service is provided. Okay. So BG means it is rho. Okay. So ideal means it should be 1 minus rho. Probability of 0. 0 means there will be no service. No service means it is, the queue is ideal. Means there is no main and there will be no service. So how to find out that? For that the probability is P naught equal to 1 minus rho. And what is rho? Rho is nothing but lambda by mu. So in place of rho, if you will put lambda by mu, you will get 1 minus lambda by mu. So either you can remember this formula or you can remember this formula. My suggestion is you remember this formula. That's why I put a tick mark over here. Okay, so two formula is clear. One is probability that the server is BG or traffic intensity or utilization factor. For that the formula is, that is rho equal to lambda by mu. Lambda means mean arrival rate, mu means mean service rate. This is one formula. Second formula is probability that the service is ideal. Okay, so for that the formula is P naught, means probability that the service is ideal, means no service or zero service. The formula is 1 minus rho. And this rho value first you have to calculate in this manner. Clear? Then the third formula is, probability that there are exactly n number of customers in the system. Okay. So system, in the system means what? This is the queue, this is the service. All together, this complete structure, this is called a system. Okay. So the question is probability that there are exactly n number of customers in the system. How to find out this probability? This is the formula. Pn equal to rho to the power n whole into 1 minus rho. Okay. Pn means probability that there are n number of customers. Okay. This formula is rho to the power n whole into 1 minus rho. Suppose in the question paper they will mention that what is the probability that there are exactly 5 customers in the system. This means in that case n equal to 5. Then in place of n you put 5. Rho value, rho formula you calculate, rho equal to lambda by mu. Okay, and this lambda value and mu value always they will give in the question paper. From these two, you calculate the density row. Sorry, not density. To row value you calculate. Okay, 5 customer they will suppose they have mentioned in the question means n equal to 5. Then you apply this formula. Rho to the power n whole into 1 minus rho. Clear? From this formula you will get the answer. So whenever we will solve a question, you will get to know about it. For the time being, you just try to remember all this formula. Similarly, the next probability, the next formula is probability that there are more than or equal to k units in the system. So for that thing, the formula is rho to the power k. Okay, probability that there are more than or equal to k units or k number of customer in the system. Okay, so that is probability of n greater than or equal to k, more than k or equal to k. Okay, so how to calculate that? That formula is rho to the power k. And the next two important formulas are expected or average number of units in the system. Units means customer. Okay. Expected or average number of units in the system. So for that formula, LS equal to rho divided by 1 minus rho. Average number of customer in the system. What do you mean by system? Once again, I will repeat. System means there will be queue, there will be a server. Together, all this called as a system. Okay. Here the formula is average number of customer in the system. Means what will be the number of customer in the queue? What will be the number of customer in the service system? Together, all those things are nothing but average number of units or customer in the system. Okay. In case we can tell you that what is the length of the system. That's why we have written LS. Okay. So average number of units of the system or length of the system, both are same. I will write here. This is also called length of the system. Okay. So LS equal to rho divided by 1 minus rho. Similarly, next formula is average expected or average number of units in the queue. Queue means only here. Only here, what will be the number of customer? In other words, what will be the length of this queue? Okay. So for that thing, the formula is LQ equal to rho into LS. What is LS? Length of the system. First, you have to calculate LS. With LS, you multiply rho, you will get LQ. That is the average number of units in the queue. Okay. And last two formulas are there. Waiting time. Okay. Last two formulas are there. Expected or average waiting time in the system. Okay. The formula is waiting time in the system, WS equal to LS divided by lambda. How to calculate LS? From this formula, you calculate LS divided by lambda. What is lambda? Lambda means mean service rate. Sorry, mean arrival rate. This is called lambda. Okay. These two things will be mentioned in the question paper. So from that two things, you can calculate this one. Average waiting time in the system, WS equal to LS by lambda. And the last one is average waiting time in the queue. Average waiting time in the queue, WQ equal to LQ by lambda. Okay, what do you mean by LQ? This is LQ. Okay, average number of units in the queue, that is LQ. Rho by LS. Okay, and so after calculating LQ, you just calculate LQ by lambda, you will get WQ. WQ means average waiting time in the queue. So total 8 formulas are there, 8 very small formulas. And if you can remember this 8 small formula, only this much formula. Okay, derivation not required. And then all the problems related to unit 5 you can solve. And in fact, theoretically, we have completed this part, waiting line. This is that much formula is there in waiting lines. If you can remember these 8 formulas, okay, then this topic is over. Okay, there is no other part you have to study in this topic. Only problems you have to solve. Okay, so one problem we will try to solve today. I don't know whether time permits or not. Okay, then we will see. Right. Okay. So the question is, suppose this is the question. Okay, so the question is, first patiently you try to read the question. Okay, I will solve this question very carefully. You see how I am doing it. A supermarket has a single cashier. Cashier means who will receive the money. Okay, a supermarket has a single cashier. During the peak hours, the customers arrive at a rate of 20 customers per hour. So can you tell me what is this 20? During the peak hours, the customers arrive at a rate of 20 customers per hour. Means this is the rate of arriving. And what is rate of arriving? The rate of arriving is indicated by, yes, lambda. Rate of arriving, mean arrival rate. How the rate per hour, how many customers are coming. Okay, those things will be represented by lambda. Clear? Right. So the thing is, lambda is given. Lambda is given, you write like this, given data. Okay, so lambda is how much? 20 customers per hour. Means in 1 hour, 20 customers are coming. So lambda equal to 20. Next one is the average number of customers that can be processed by the cashier is 24 per hour. Okay, so what is the role of a cashier? The cashier will provide the service. Okay, so that's why, yes, it is mu. The average number of customers that can be processed by the cashier is 24 per hour. Means per hour, in 1 hour, the cashier is supplying service to 24 people. Okay, so that is nothing but your mean service rate. Service rate per hour is mu. Right? So mu equal to how much? 24. Okay, now I will tell you one shortcut trick. Suppose by reading this question, you cannot identify what is lambda, what is mu. Suppose you cannot identify. So one thing I told you here, what is this rho? Rho equal to lambda by mu. And I told you this rho value is always less than 1. This means this lambda by mu value is also always less than 1. This thing you can tell. If rho is less than 1, then lambda by mu is also less than 1. In that case, I can tell this lambda is always less than mu. Lambda is always less than mu. Okay, so mean arrival rate should always less than mean service rate. Okay, so here in this question, how many numbers are there? 1 is 20, 1 is 24. And I told you the lambda is always less than mu. I will write here also. Lambda is always less than mu. Okay, so here what you have to do is the small number you give to lambda, and the higher number you give to mu. So out of 20 and 24, okay, out of 20 and 24, so 20 is less as compared to 24. So that's why I have assigned 20 to lambda and 24 to mu. Clear? That is the shortcut trick. If you cannot identify by reading the question which one is lambda and which one is mu, then in this manner also you can do it. So these are the two given data. Now what's next? You have to calculate If both are equal, both will not be equal. Both can never be equal. Okay. I will tell you all the possibilities. Don't worry. So now you have to calculate probability that the cashier is ideal. Okay. So the first point is probability that the cashier is ideal. So can you tell me what we have to calculate here? What do you mean by cashier? Cashier is nothing but the service provider, or he is the server. Okay. So he is ideal. Ideal means no service will be provided by him. Ideal means no service will be provided by the cashier. So if you will come to the formula, you can see formula number 2. Okay, the probability that the server is ideal or no service. And how to find it out? The formula is P naught equal to 1 minus rho. This formula we have to use. Okay, so I will write here. Yes, correct. So I will write here P naught equal to, this is 0.1 I am calculating, P naught equal to 1 minus rho. And what is this rho? How to find out this rho? Rho equal to lambda by mu. This is the formula. And what is the value of lambda? Lambda is 20 divided by mu. Mu is 24. 20 by 24. Now if I'll put this value over here, that implies P naught equal to 1 minus lambda is 20 by 24. 20 by 24. Okay. So if you will solve it out, in my answer will be approximately 0.17. I don't know, whatever you are writing, I am just writing 0.16 or 0.17, something like that will come. Clear? This is one thing. No, we have completed this part. I told you, just read the question, put the formula, you will get the answer. The only thing you have to do is you have to remember this 7 or 8 formulas. That's it. Similarly, the next one is the average number of customer in the queuing system. Okay, average number of customer in the queuing system. So for that thing, you can see we have a formula, that is formula number 5. Okay, expected or average number of units in the system. Okay, for that thing, what is the formula? LS equal to rho divided by 1 minus rho. So we are going to use this formula. Okay, so I will write point number 2. Point number 2, I will write LS equal to rho divided by 1 minus rho. Have you got it? Why I am taking this formula? Because the question was average number of customer in queuing system. What will be the number of customer in the system? For that thing, we have the formula, I mean the formula number 5, average number of customer in the queuing system, LS equal to rho divided by 1 minus rho. No, formula number 6 you cannot apply. What is the difference between formula number 5 and 6? Formula number 5 is average number of customer in the system. Okay, and formula number 6 is average number of customer in the queue. What is the difference between system and queue? Queue means only this much. In this queue, how many customers are there? That is the average number of customer in the queue. Okay, and system means along with the queue, we have to add the number of customer or the number of service provider present in the service system. Okay, if we will add both these two things, then that will be called as the system. If we will take only this thing, that will be called as the queue. That is the difference between formula number 5 and 6. Formula number 5 is average number of customer in the system. And formula number 6 is average number of customer in the queue. And what is the question? The question is average number of customer in the system. That's why we have to take formula number 5, average number of customer in the system. Right? So if we will apply the value of rho we got 20 by 24. Okay, if you will apply those things, 20 by 24 whole divided by 1 minus 20 by 24, and if you will solve it out, okay, so you solve it out, and what is the answer you got? 5 you will get. The answer will be 5. Okay, so like this manner, in one line you will get the answer. Very simple it is. And the last part is, we have only 2 minutes left. So the last part is the average time a customer spends in the system. Okay, so the average time a customer will spend in the system. So for that thing, what is the formula? Time spent by a customer in the system. This is the formula. Okay, average waiting time in the system. The formula is WS equal to LS by lambda. Okay, so that thing we will write here. Point number 3 will be WS equal to LS by lambda. Okay, and what is LS? LS we got 5 divided by what is lambda value we got? Lambda we got 20. Okay, so 5 by 20 equal to 1 by 4, and it is equal to 0.25. Yes, all are correct. Okay, so like this manner, we can be able to solve all the 3 parts of this given question. Clear? So that's all about for today's class. What you have to remember is, you have to remember only these 7 formulas. If you can remember this 7 formula, this complete topic we can cover. Clear? So whatever I have taught you, here time in what units? Time is in hour only, because here everything is given in hour. No? Okay, so this time is in hour. Hour means what we got? 0.25 hour. What do you mean by 0.25 hour? 0.25 hour means it will be approximately 15 minutes. If we multiply 60. Okay, so that is the thing. So whatever all these formulas and whatever the theory part I have discussed today, I will put in the group after this class. Okay, so your duty is, you just remember these 7 formulas by tomorrow. 7 formula you just remember by tomorrow. Okay, derivation is not at all required. It is not there in your syllabus. You don't take tension for that. This 7 formula you just try to remember. Tomorrow some 5 to 6 questions we will solve related to this thing. And tomorrow only we are going to complete this topic. Clear? So any doubt you can ask me in WhatsApp. So the next class is going to start. Okay, bye.